From the News Channel 8 studios, let's talk live with your hosts, Natasha Barrett and Melanie Hastings.
Well, it's almost summertime. Kids, they are clamoring to get out of school and have some free time. But those endless days away from the books, that can lead to a summertime learning slide.
Ann Dolin is the president of Educational Connections, and she's here with tips on how you can keep your kids engaged and learning this summer. And I think every parent wants to hear the answer. You know, the hardest part is there's not one answer, right?
There isn't. There really isn't, Natasha. But it's scary because kids can lose almost 2.5 months of progress if they do nothing over the summer. So it's really important to give kids a break, but we still need to keep them learning, keep them reading over the summer, that's for sure.
Well, it just happens. I mean, I think the teachers pretty much expect it. In September, they know they're going to have to do some remedial stuff, right?
They do, because studies show that kids that do nothing over the summer have to have review for about 6 weeks at the beginning of the year. So it really puts them behind.
So they're doing nothing new for 6 entire weeks, but reviewing.
Yeah.
Okay. So what can parents do over the course of the summer to kind of help their kids stay on top of things?
Well, here's the thing. It has to be focused on reading, because that's where we see the biggest slide is in language arts. Studies show that if kids read 4 books over the summer, that learning loss is completely negated. So that's the key, is to pick 4 books, have your child pick out the books that they are going to be invested in reading, and set up a time. So a lot of times parents make the mistake of saying to their child, go up in your room and read. It's time to read, and that feels punitive, especially if you have a reluctant reader. So a better idea is that everybody in the house picks a book, even mom, even dad.
So everybody's doing it.
Yep.
You brought a couple books here.
I did.
I guess these are favorites, or how'd you select them? Tell us about
Well,
them.
this is a new one out. It's so adorable. It's the day my mom came to kindergarten. And as mom's dropping her child off on the first day of kindergarten, the child says, oh, come on in, Mom. And then the student finds out that mom isn't so good at kindergarten after all. It's adorable. Kids love this one, and it's just out.
She's exposed.
She is exposed.
And what age group is this for?
This would be for younger elementary school kids. So for preschoolers, obviously they're not going to read to you. This would be a book you would read to them. Primary kids can read this one.
All right.
So
next,
yes,
these are fatter books. This must be
fatter
for the older
books. So
kids.
these would be for older elementary kids. You know, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade kids. Fabulous author Rebecca Steed, always on the bestseller list. This is a terrific book about 12-year-old spies called Liar and Spy, and it's adorable. Kids are clamoring for this book. All of her books are really terrific.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yep.
And a little mystery. You know, kids will like that. It'll help them turn the
They
pages
do.
quickly.
It really is a page turner, even for reluctant readers.
Did I see a Hunger Games book there for you?
You know, I did bring a Hunger Games book, and
Everybody
here's
likes
why.
that.
Look at that.
Everybody loves it. And the book after this one, this is the one that started the frenzy, is called Catching Fire. It's coming out as a movie on November 22nd. So some parents are kind of hesitant about this book. Is it too violent? And this would be a book for an elementary student that you would want to read as a family and discuss it, because some kids just aren't mature enough for the topic, but kids really want to read it. So start with this book, go to Catching Fire, because they're going to want to see the movie in November.
And getting everybody on the same book, that's kind of like, hey, we can talk about, rather than you're up in your room, you have this assignment, it's summer, and a child thinks, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this work.
Yes, and then what happens is come August, they've done nothing, the parents yelling at them, you haven't done your summer reading, and it just becomes a lesson in frustration. There's a lot of friction over reading. Another recommendation is Scholastic's Summer Challenge. It's free. You log on, you put in your books, kids earn prizes and rewards, and it's a great way to help kids be accountable and have fun at the same time.
That sounds good. Earning rewards for doing your reading. And you know, if you're looking for titles, you're not sure, you know, what you should be reading, or maybe just need some ideas, I guess the library is always a good source, right?
It is, and I can also recommend ALA.org, which is American Library Association, and I love this site because parents can type in books for reluctant teenage girls, come up with a great high interest list. So those are the kids we have a hard time with over the summer with reading, is the kids that are reluctant readers.
Just get that extra push, you get them interested.
Yep, and they need page turners. They need something that they're gonna, they're gonna be on page 2 and they're gonna want to finish the book.
Now, it's always fun to do some activities over the summer, and they can be educational too.
They can. You know, one of my favorite things to do in DC is the Smithsonian Sleepover. And this is a fabulous event. There are 5 dates over the summer from June to August, but 2 of them are almost sold out. So if you want to do it, log on now to smithsoniansleepover.org. And you spend the night in your sleeping bag along with all of the mammals and everything in the Natural History Museum.
It brings a new meaning to Night at the Museum.
I know, right?
It's like every kid's dream.
It is. It's fabulous. And there are so many great camps around the area, too. In fact, George Washington, George Mason, and American University are all sponsoring tech camps for kids. And these days, kids, you don't see a kid without their phone. You know, they're texting, they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, whatever. Even younger kids, but these are tech camps where kids can create their own action films. They can even learn coding. Kids can learn to create their own video game. And that's kind of where it's at for a lot of kids that aren't into sports, maybe not into drama, but want something more interesting to do that's up their alley. The universities are sponsoring great camps at a low fee.
It's amazing what they know and we don't at that age, you know?
Yes, that's for sure.
And those fun skills that they're learning, I mean, that could really translate into a job down the road.
Absolutely.
You know how to make a video game, you know?
That's right. And you know, I see that a lot of kids are into coding, into programming these days, and it's not something that we teach in school. So it's a great outlet for kids that may not be the strongest students in the world, but maybe have a passion in another area.
Yeah. And what better way to do your passion over the summer, right?
That's right. Yes, that's for sure.
You got your kids engaged this summer, Ann?
I do. I do. They're doing sports camps, doing all kinds of things.
All right. Well, hope you have a
but
good
they
summer.
will be reading.
For sure, with you as their mom. Ann Dolin, thanks so much for coming in today.
Thanks.
Have a
Ann.
great summer.